My wife Susan usually travels with me. And about 2 months ago, we were at a venue like this, but it was on the West Coast. And we were walking around the hotel afterwards, and I said, honey, in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine that I'd write this book and our lives would change so much? And she looked at me with that glimmer in her eye and that concept that only a person married to you for 23 years can get. And she looked at me and she said, honey, I'm not sure, because in my wildest dreams, you don't even show up. That's something that's really important to put into your head. Small changes, practiced consistently, create dramatic results. So when you build this successful mindset, which all of us have, I mean, you wouldn't be sitting in this room if you didn't have that mindset. You understand about goal setting, you understand about all that other stuff. But a lot of times to do this side of our lives has a tendency to struggle sometimes. Try new things. Find new teachers to teach you new lessons. When was the last thing you read that changed the way in which you worked, changed the way in which you lived, changed the way in which you acted? If you're going, and everything in your life is going amazingly well, if you haven't read anything, that's okay. Write something if it's going that well. Write something. It ought to sell like 1 million copies, because there's plenty of people who could use that. Leaders don't create better followers. Leaders create more leaders. Right? Because a whole room full of leaders that are following the guidance in one direction, but they're strong and independent and feel successful, will get dramatically more done than everybody sort of sitting there going, well, what do you think we should do now? What I'm talking about is some sort of simple, quiet time. If you're a praying person, pray. If you're not a praying person, sit quietly and listen to your breathing. Sit quietly and think about something. How do you want to perform today? One of the best exercises I use organizationally is have somebody stop and think about how they would like to be perceived on a particular phone call or in a particular meeting. Practicing this kind of quiet time will help you stop being quite so ready, fire, aim. Right? It slows things down a little bit. But it is amazing. It also speeds up productivity dramatically because you don't have to spend any time doing things over again. I used to have a big sign up in my warehouse because we had a big distribution business once. And it said, just remember, everybody has time to do it over, but nobody seems to have enough time to do it right the first time. The importance of a path is not knowing whether you're on it. The importance of a path is knowing when you're off of it. Service will change the phrase, what's in it for me? That was my mantra. I had 2 mantras. Everything, all the time, right now. Doesn't that sound nicely moderate? Everything, all the time, right now, with the acronym of EARN. All right? Everything, all the time, right now, and what's in it for me? What's my deal? What's my in? What's my cut? What's in it for me? Why would I do this? And what service will do for you is change what's in it for me to what's in it from me. Understanding the needs of someone else and treating those needs as important as if they were my needs. Right? Now that works if it's a child, a spouse, a coworker, a boss, a client, whatever it might be. This is where love can become a competitive advantage, when you become client-centric rather than product-centric. When I teach love as a competitive advantage, it is to find out how you can be successful in helping your clients be successful. When was the last time you talked to a person in your office and said that you could not be here without their help? That kind of open connection changes the way people work together. That level of appreciation is something that doesn't happen very often, and when it does, it changes the sense and dynamic in an organization and builds a sense of community and productivity that is almost unmatched. We can't really change what's going on around us, but we can change the way we react to them. To be grateful for all things at all times, even extreme situations. How do we react to them? Do we react positively? Do we react negatively? If we react negatively, are we carrying those negative feelings around? Do we need to think about forgiveness? We are the lenses of our lives. The world that we see out here is based on the world that exists in here. If we want to live in a world that's full of peace and harmony and happiness and productivity, then inside needs to be peaceful, harmonious, and productive. I've heard as a kid and growing up is that you only get out what you put in. That is true. In everything I've ever done in my life, you get out what you put in. It's as simple as that. As you go through life, I want you to try and pick willingness, over contempt, quiet time over stress, service over self, love and forgiveness over resentment, gratitude over entitlement, and action over inaction. And more than anything else, I want you to choose to do it today rather than tomorrow.